Fudge looked at me from his position on the floor. Like pitas, he said. Yeah, sure, Fudge, I told him. Mr. Berman came back with a pair of brown and white saddle shoes in my size. I tried them on. Did they look ugly? See Peter's nice saddle shoes? My mother said. Now, Fudgy tries on his nice saddle shoes. Fudge let Mr. Berman get him into his new pair of shoes. See, he said. See, like pitas. He held up a foot. That's right, Fudge, I said. Just like mine. You sure can't fool little kids easy. Wear a wrap, Mr. Berman asked my mother. Wear a wrap, Mr. Berman asked my mother, while Fudge walked around in his new shoes. Wrap, of course, she said. I wondered what my mother would tell Fudge tomorrow when I wore my new loafers. Oh, well, that really wasn't my worry. It was her idea. When Fudge was back in his old shoes and our package was ready, Mr. Berman gave my brother a striped balloon. He offered me one, too. I refused. How could he think a person in 4th grade might want a shoe store balloon? That wasn't so terrible, was it, Peter? My mother said as we left the store. It wasn't? I asked. Well, it could have been worse, my mother said. I suppose, I answered. We went to Hamburger Heaven for lunch. We sat in a booth. Fudge tossed his balloon around while my mother ordered for him and then for herself. I ordered my own lunch, a hamburger with everything on it and a chocolate milkshake. Fudge was getting a kiddie special, meaning a hamburger without a roll, some mashed potatoes, and a side order of green peas. Ooh, those are all very throwable, smearable, mashable foods. Uh-oh. When our lunch was served, my mother cut Fudge's hamburger into tiny pieces, which he shoved into his mouth with his fingers. Then she handed him a spoon and told him to eat his mashed potatoes. But instead of eating them, he smeared them. He smeared them on the ball. See? He said. I thought you told me he wasn't going to behave like that anymore, I said to my mother. Fudgy, that's naughty. You stop it right now, my mother said. But Fudge sang, eat it or wear it, eat it or wear it, and he dumped the whole dish of peas over his head. I laughed. I couldn't help it. He looked so silly with the peas falling from his hair. And when I eat and laugh at the same time, I choke. So I choked on my pickle, and my mother had to whack me on the back, which gave Fudge another chance to spread mashed potatoes on the wall. That's when the waitress asked my mother, did we want anything else? That's the waitress's way of saying, what are you doing? No, thank you, my mother said. We have more than enough now. She wiped off the wall with her napkin and told Fudge he was very, very naughty. Not me, Fudge said. Not me. Yes, you, my mother told him. Why can't you eat like Peter? See how nice Peter eats? Fudge didn't say anything. He just stuck his fork into his balloon. Pop! It popped. Ah! And he screamed, oh, God, one more balloon, more! Shut up, I told him. Can't you ever act human? That's enough, Peter, my mother said. Oh, she should have slugged him. That would teach that brother of mine how to behave in Hamburger Heaven. We took a cab. That means a taxi. We took a cab home. Fudge fell asleep on the way. He had his fingers in his mouth and made his slurping noises. My mother whispered to me, oh, our day wasn't that bad, was it, Peter? I didn't answer. I just looked out the taxi window and decided that I would never spend a day with Farley Drexel Hatcher again.